Hello, my friend. Welcome to your sleep story. My name is Stephen Dalton. I'm an Irish storyteller, and it's my great privilege to be the voice that you listen to as you go to sleep tonight. As you might know, I've always loved Paris, and I was recently on a walking tour of the Montmartre area of Paris, learning about that beautiful area. And there was a moment on that tour when we rounded a corner and the guide pointed at the majestic Eiffel Tower in the distance. I've seen it before, and I wasn't expecting to hear anything new. But when he said Gustave Eiffel, the designer of the tower, had an apartment in the top of the tower, well, I couldn't help but write a sleep story about it, and here it is. Before that, though, let's do the relaxation session, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you, or the floor, or whatever you lie upon tonight. And beneath that, feel the support of our planet, Earth, holding you, supporting you, keeping you safe. And with that awareness of that support, see if you can let go a little bit more now. Loosen any tension a little bit more now. 9. You are safe. Allow my voice to be an anchor of safety tonight. To be a friend, to be a voice of trust. Trust in the fact that I will only ever bring you to safe places. 8. Feel into your body now. Feel where you still might be holding. Maybe it's in your feet. Maybe in your lower legs. Maybe in your belly. Perhaps in your chest, your hands even, or your face. I know I hold in my face. Just soften now. Just let go more and more now. 7. The day is done. Whatever has been has been. Whatever will be, will be. Whatever thoughts you might be having about tomorrow, about today, about anything, they are not so useful now. They do not serve you, but do not fight them. See them for what they are. Just thoughts, coming and going, part of being a human. And gently let them go now. See them floating away like clouds passing in a starlit sky, or leaves floating down a moonlit river. 6. This is your moment. This is your time. You have nowhere to go right now. Nowhere to be. Allow that fact to enable you to sink deeper and deeper into this moment. Allow that fact to bring about more softening, more peace in this moment. 5. Perhaps allow a little gratitude now. Gratitude for the shelter you have tonight, for the opportunity of rest, for the simple things, your breath, your body, and those you love. For peace lives within you. It is always there, just waiting to be found, waiting to be seen, waiting to be felt. See if you can find that peace tonight. See if you can feel it. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see Paris, not as we know it today, but Paris of the 19th century. Begin to see the Eiffel Tower, and in there, high up near the top, a soft glow of a gas lamp. And there is Gustave Eiffel, enjoying a quiet evening in his tower. 2. Checking in with your body one more time now. Your body has worked hard for you today. It's time to give it rest. 1. Completely letting go now as I tell you tonight's sleep story. Did you know that Gustave Eiffel, the builder, designer, and architect of the Eiffel Tower, created a private apartment for himself near the very top of the tower? It was a modest, yet elegant space, reserved for quiet reflection, away from the busy world below. Allow me now to take you back to the year 1890, on a calm and still autumn evening, as the wind gently sweeps over Paris and Gustave Eiffel sits within his cozy apartment high above the city. Inside, the soft glow of a single gas lamp bathes the room in a warm amber light. The faint scent of polished wood fills the air, mingling with the crispness of the night that drifts in through a slightly cracked window. From this height, the noise of the city below is muted to a distant hum, barely noticeable, leaving only the occasional creak of the tower's iron frame as it settles into the night. Gustave sits in a comfortable chair by the window, gazing out at the magnificent city of Paris below. The stars above shimmer faintly, as if in a kind of quiet conversation with the flickering lights below. Gustave takes a deep breath, the cool air soothing against his skin, and with a contented sigh, he leans back, his hand gently traces the surface of a small, well-worn book that rests on his lap. The scent of the pages, aged and familiar, brings a sense of calm as he prepares to lose himself in its words. The soft ticking of a clock on the mantelpiece provides a steady rhythm to the room, its sound a gentle anchor in the stillness. This is a simple evening full of quiet pleasures for Gustave. A time for reflection, far removed from the excitement and applause that greeted the unveiling of his great tower. Now he begins to read the book, and the voice of the author fills his mind. The book is about living in Paris in the 19th century. To live in Paris in the 19th century is to walk through a city forever in motion, caught between the old and the new. The streets carry the scent of revolution still, even as progress paves the way for the future. There is a heartbeat to this city, a pulse that quickens with every invention, every idea. It is a place where the soul is awakened by the sharp contrast between history and modernity, where the hum of the past vibrates through the very stones of the buildings, while the future rises like steam from the factories and the rails. Eiffel imagines the streets described in the book, the cobbled lanes of Montmartre, where artists paint by the light of oil lamps, and the wide avenues of Haussmann's vision, where carriages glide between the towering buildings. He has walked those streets countless times, yet through these words they feel almost new to him, like he has seen them from a different angle. He goes back to reading. What does it mean to live in such a city? It means to be part of its constant transformation, to exist in the spaces between change. One cannot live in Paris without feeling the weight of history, and yet one cannot help but feel propelled forward, as if the city itself is pulling you into the future. Gustave pauses again, reflecting on his own role in the transformation of Paris. The tower, which now looms over the very city described in this book, is part of that forward pull. And yet, as much as it represents the future, it is anchored in the same earth where countless generations have walked. where revolutions have been fought, where love and loss have been felt in equal measure. He reads on. To be alive in Paris is to embrace both its beauty and its impermanence. The Seine River flows through its heart, carrying with it the stories of those who came before and those who will come after. We, too, are carried by its current, each of us a small part of a greater whole, a fleeting moment in the grand story of the city. The words settle into Eiffel's mind, and he closes the book for a moment, staring at its cover. He feels the truth in the author's reflections. For Paris is not just a place. It is a character all on its own, in a wonderfully long, epic, beautiful story. And as he sits here, high above it all, he feels at once a part of it and apart from it, an architect of its future and a witness to its past. Eiffel rises slowly now from his chair, his movements deliberate and unhurried. And with a soft click, he unlatches the door and steps out onto the balcony that wraps around the apartment. The cool night air greets him, carrying with it the faint scents of rain-soaked streets and autumn leaves far below. The iron railing feels solid beneath his hands as he steps to the edge. From this height, the city of Paris stretches out in every direction, a sea of shimmering lights that pulse and flicker like stars fallen to the earth. He inhales deeply, letting the vastness of the view settle into his bones. The stillness here, above it all, creates an almost dreamlike separation from the world below. As Gustave gazes down at the streets, the boulevards and alleyways, winding through the city like veins, his mind begins to wander. Thoughts of humanity, progress and the fleeting nature of time fill his mind. What a strange thing it is, he thinks, that so much life occurs below. People moving, laughing, struggling, dreaming, while he remains here on the edge of the heavens, a quiet observer. The tower beneath him, his greatest creation, is a sign of human ambition. And yet, what is ambition, he wonders, without a deeper understanding of our place in the world? He reflects on the passage of time, how the city below has changed and will continue to change long after he is gone. The structures, the inventions, the triumphs of his time, will they last? Or are they just fleeting things, destined to be forgotten? The weight of existence presses softly against him, not in a burdened way, but as a gentle reminder of life's impermanence. Here, on this great iron balcony, suspended between earth and sky, he feels connected to something larger than himself, a shared experience, perhaps, with those who have come before him and those who will follow. He closes his eyes for a moment, allowing these thoughts to settle. In this quiet solitude, surrounded by the stars and the lights of Paris, Gustave feels a peace that only such heights and such silence can bring. A fleeting but very deep awareness of what it means to be human, to create, and to simply be. Opening his eyes once more, he looks out at the city, its endless movement far below. A soft smile plays at the corner of his lips. Despite the enormity of his thoughts, there is a comfort in this moment, knowing that, for now, he is just a man, standing in the night, contemplating the world from above. Now he goes back inside, feeling a slight chill from the night air. He decides to make himself a warm drink, something simple and comforting to ease him into the rest of the evening, high up here in the Eiffel Tower. Crossing to the small stove in the corner of the apartment, he strikes a match and lights the burner. The soft hiss of gas, followed by the faint blue glow of the flame. The kettle, a well-used piece of copper, reflects the light of the gas lamp as he fills it with water. The coolness of the metal is solid in his hands, grounding him in this simple act. As the water begins to heat, the familiar scents of the apartment deepen. The faint tang of the iron tower, the wood of the furniture, and now the promise of warmth from the drink he's about to make. He takes a jar of loose tea from the shelf, a blend of herbs and spices. The earthy scent fills the air as he spoons it into a small teapot. The dried leaves and flowers crackling faintly as they settle into the pot. As he waits for the water to boil, his thoughts drift back, far beyond the tower, beyond the book, beyond anything from this evening, to the simple days of his childhood in Dijon. He remembers the quiet streets of his hometown, the scent of his mother's garden in the early morning, the way the earth would smell after the rain. As a boy, Gustave had always been curious, always looking up at the sky, wondering how things were built, how they stood so tall. His father, a soldier, had encouraged his education, but it was his mother, Catherine, who nurtured his love for mathematics and science, sitting with him for hours as he sketched out ideas in the dust with a stick. He smiles at the memory of those early days. Days when the world seemed so full of possibility, and his only concern was how to understand it all. He remembers being fascinated by the construction of the bridges near their home, watching as workers fitted stone upon stone to create something sturdy and lasting. It was then, he supposes, that his love for engineering began to take root. The kettle whistles softly, pulling him back to the present moment. He pours the hot water over the tea, the steam rising in delicate tendrils, carrying with it the calming aroma of chamomile and mint. The sound of the water flowing into the pot is gentle, and he watches as the tea swirls and steeps, darkening into a warm amber. As he waits for the tea to steep, Gustave gazes around the apartment. The soft ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece continues its steady rhythm, and outside, the world is quiet. The wind that had once been brisk is now gentle, brushing lightly against the tower. It is peaceful here, high above the city, where time seems to stretch and slow, as if the worries of the world cannot reach him in this sanctuary. Pouring the tea into a delicate porcelain cup, he takes it in his hands and moves back to the window. The warmth of the cup seeps into his fingers, soothing and calming. He takes a sip, the heat of the drink spreading through him, a quiet comfort in the stillness of the night. Now, after some time, with the warmth of the tea still lingering in his chest, Gustave begins to prepare for bed. The apartment is quiet now, with only the gentle ticking of the clock and the occasional groan of the tower. He sets the cup down on the small table beside his chair and slowly moves about the room, dimming the gas lamps one by one, until the only light left is the faint glow from the moon outside. He crosses to the small basin in the corner, where a pitcher of water sits waiting, and with a practiced hand, he pours the cool water into a porcelain bowl. He dips a cloth in the water, feeling the chill against his face as he wipes it, washing away the day's dust and thought. The simple act grounding him in the present. He moves towards the wardrobe, where his night clothes are neatly folded. The fabric is soft beneath his fingers, and as he changes, he feels the weight of the day gently lift from his shoulders, replaced by the anticipation of sleep. And then he turns toward the bed, positioned near the window. The bed is simple yet elegant, with clean linen sheets and a thick woolen blanket. Its deep blues and greys mirroring the night sky above. And as he pulls back the covers, Gustave takes a moment to stand by the window once more, gazing out at the city below. Paris, bathed in moonlight, seems to stretch endlessly before him. Now he climbs into bed and settles beneath the heavy blanket. He adjusts the pillow and lies back. And as he lies there, high above the world, Gustave feels grateful for his tower that cradles him now. The wind outside has calmed. His breathing slows, and the bed beneath Gustave feels weightless. He closes his eyes now, and the soft glow of Paris lingers behind his eyelids. And as the stars continue their slow journey across the sky, Gustave Eiffel sleeps high above the city he loves, cradled by the tower that bears his name, surrounded by the endless beauty and stillness of the night.